My brother and I started, it would have been '78. We took over the family farm, small farm around here, 50 acres of tillable ground. Did a little bit of crop farming, oats and corn. Soon learned this wasn't really cropping country and decided to get into the sheep business. I'm Dave Showmaker. I'm from Ebensburg, to be the town address here, at Cambria County, Pennsylvania. The sheep that we're raising or have developed basically over the years are strictly for meat production. We're running around 1,000 ewes now, and all forage fed, all grass, no grain. They do eat and relish a lot of forbs or weed type crops, and they tend to browse as well. So any fresh young forage they'll go after it pretty hard. Of course, your clovers and fine grass are their preferred graze. We have done in the past and have gotten back into more recently using, I guess they would typically be called a summer annual, brassica crops, rapes and turnips. Do really well in the cooler weather in October, November, and the feed quality is exceptional, very high energy. We would typically no-till it into a sod, a suppressed sod in July, and it's 60 to 90 days till we'd start to graze it. And in the right years, the yields are exceptional on it, and it can extend the grazing period probably 3 weeks. So where we would typically end up starting to feed winter feed the 1st of December or the first week of December, we may make it to the 3rd week or the end of December with the brassica crops. Pasture size, I guess, is dependent a lot on where we are. A lot of the rented ground is small patches, maybe 3-5 acre fields surrounded by woods. Some we've combined and made several small patches as one paddock or grazing area. We don't do a real intensive grazing, and we actually start in the spring of the year. We try to feed until the pasture has come on well enough that we're not going to skim the grass before it has a chance to get up. The biggest thing that controlled grazing can do with parasites is not overgrazing. Overgrazing forces animals to eat where the ground has been contaminated. So if you are fortunate enough to have fresh ground to keep moving on to, it's better to move off before you scrape stuff right to the dirt. So there's been a lot of effort put into trying to manage parasites without as much treatment. Fencing is everything from new high tensile box wire fence on our owned ground and permanent pastures. On most of our rented ground, we would have a 3 or 4 strand fiberglass post electrified fencing. The electric fencing is very effective, and probably the biggest thing that's made it work for us is using a portable sprayer on the 4-wheelers to control the vegetation. With the newer type fence energizers and keeping the fences clean, they're very effective and very economical to install, and actually portable as far as on rented ground. You never know when you might be taking it down. And having shade and water seems to be very critical. That anything that causes stress with sheep or lambs impacts production, and if they have access to shade and water and good feed, they seem to grow. Handling facilities are probably one of the main things, and we hadn't talked about that, but quite essential. Without handling facilities, there really is no way to handle any amount of stock. They don't have to be elaborate, but some type of penning and chutes for handling to do your deworming or vaccinating if you're doing that, or just sorting and grouping different animals. For instance, sorting lambs off from the ewes. It shouldn't be a circus chasing them around the pen. That it's pretty basic equipment that you can be built by yourself or purchased that'll make those jobs a lot easier. I'd like to say that there should be a law: if you have more than 3 sheep, you have to have a border collie. Even a bad one's probably worth 3 guys helping you. A good one's worth 10. For handling stock, they're a must. If if you're thinking of getting some stock in, I guess first thing would be your fencing. You have to consider what type of fencing you're going to use. The most economical is the electric fencing. With the newer type chargers, it's very effective. The second thing would be, as far as where you would be getting stock, buy it from a reputable producer. It'll eliminate a lot of headaches in the long run, health issues, and typically you would have a good source of information and help as far as problems that you might have or run into along the way, whether it's for mutton or for milk or for wool. Find a producer that's raising sheep to do that, whatever you would decide you're interested in, and talk with them. And in the end, you'll end up adapting the sheep to your operation. But if you start with sheep that are from a similar operation, your chances of success would be better, I would say. Just in the last year, the market's been incredible. Who knows how long that'll last, but in the long term, it seems that the sheep business has been profitable when a lot of other stuff hasn't.